All right, Ron and Fez show hanging out with you until 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Oh, no, I guess we're on Daylight Savings.
I thought we were Eastern Standard.
Yeah. Is this Daylight Savings this time of year?
I don't know which one is Daylight Savings Time. If it's when we fall back or spring ahead.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I think it's technically DST, Daylight Saving Time. They don't necessarily say Eastern Time.
Right, that's what we're saying. But he's saying, does that kick in when you jump ahead?
Yes, when you spring ahead.
Well then, okay, when you spring ahead.
Yes,
so
in the springtime you go 1 hour
So in
forward.
the springtime it's Daylight Savings, and in the winter it's just standard.
Yes, Eastern
right.
Standard Time.
Okay.
I'll never bring that up again. I never want to get us caught up in a goddamn quagmire like that again. I didn't think we were going to get out. I honestly thought we'd spend the rest of the show just tied up in that.
And not knowing what to do with our clocks. The U.S. Army has raised its enlistment age and is now accepting recruits up to the age of 41.
Earl, go get your rifle. You're on your way.
This is the second time in 5 months that the age limit has gone up. So 5 months ago, I think it was 35, it went up to 39, and now it's up to 41.
3 weeks from now, we'll be emptying the prisons.
So it's interesting as the war goes on in Iraq and Afghanistan, exactly some of the things that have changed over the Army. The physical requirements aren't there for boot camp that used to be there. Tattoos, visible tattoos are now allowed. And now 41-year-olds can go into the Army.
Yeah. Here's Mike. Mike, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, I hate to go back to the Daylight Savings Time thing, but Earl,
we were so caught up in
degrees wrong.
You're wrong, Earl.
It's when you fall back, you're saving an extra hour of daylight so that we use less energy for lights, and that you gain the extra hour of light so that like kids aren't going to school when it's dark and stuff like that.
So in the summer we're standard,
right?
And in the winter we're daylight saving.
Right, we're saving an extra hour of light. That's it.
Is that definitely right, Earl? Or you still disagree?
I totally disagree.
You vehemently? Would you say you vehemently disagree?
I vehemently disagree, but at the same time, like, why we even there used to be those idiots that always say, don't say Daylight Savings Time, say Daylight Saving Time.
Right.
There's no plural. I'm like, who cares?
We want to know when it kicks in, Earl, and when we're living like normal people.
I'll double check that.
Yeah, double check. Have Pitsy look into it. Let's find out what the hell's going on. I want to know whether I'm going to be in a 25-hour day today or a 23-hour day. Because you're never normal. 866 Ron Zero Fez. 866 Ron Zero Fez. Here's Steve. Steve, you're on the Ron and Fez show. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, buddies?
Hey, man.
Yeah, daylight saving time is for the farmers, so they got all day to plant their crops and plow their fields and that sort of thing.
So it takes place during the summer.
Right, exactly.
So Earl is correct.
Earl is correct.
And the last caller was wrong. All right, here's Scott. Scott, you're on Run of Fez. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, Earl's right. Summertime, it's daylight saving time. Wintertime, it's standard time.
Wintertime is standard time, which makes a little more sense because in the summer, you're not even in school. It just seems like standard seems like school time. All right, here comes Pitsy. Pitsy, grab a microphone over here. You let us know exactly what is right and wrong. Because, Pitsy, you are the person that, at the end of the day, you're the guy who decides. You're our Judge Judy.
Daylight savings time is summertime.
There you go, Earl. The world's best producer finds himself on a roll. He's on a roll.
Another win for Black Girl.
Pitsy was all excited that he talked with Johnny Fairplay when he called. He's saying, can't believe there's Johnny Fairplay. Put him right up. It's very exciting for you, huh?
Yeah, I didn't think anybody else would call in pretending to be Johnny Fairplay.
Nobody. So. You know what? The only person I wouldn't call if it was his grandmother. Do not believe that gimmick. That's something that he rolls with every once in a while. Pitsy, what have you decided about the big movie Gap that starts shooting next week? A perfectly new Polo called yesterday and acted completely different than the last time.
I was pleasantly surprised to hear Polo like that, too.
Yeah.
Because Dave called me, he's like, well, Polo's on the line. I didn't have any setup about what was going on.
Of course not. It's Dave.
So,
you were ready to fight.
Yeah, I was ready to fight.
Like the last time you talked.
I came out swinging, but I talked to, I was very happy to hear him like that, and I wrote him an email saying we'll talk about it. I have to get off work this weekend because I took off work when I was on the project, then I got kicked off the project, so I took my hours back, so I'm going to see if I can work it out, and if I can, I'm very happy to go up there. But I'm waiting to hear from my boss.
This thing, it seems like a nightmare, doesn't it? This film thing.
Yes, it does.
And two guys are actually investing money.
Well, I know. I talked to Bruno and them. I didn't know they were putting their own dollars up for it.
And so they are?
I guess so,
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that anybody would believe Polo for anything. But I guess they say there's one born every minute.
For everybody's sake, I really hope it works out, though, you know?
How can it? It's Polo. It's a movie he says he's written. It's not going to work out.
Nothing's ever worked out for him. Marriage, pregnancies, any of it.
This is the interesting thing, though. This is the first time that there will be a lawsuit over a film that takes place in small claims court. Normally, it's a big, major thing. If these guys run over budget, it'll be like $150. I'm wondering what they're even spending the $10,000 on. That surprises me.
Well, they're staying at the Howard Johnson. I know that much. So maybe room and board for all the...
Where? Upstate?
Somewhere upstate. I have the directions at home.
I thought all those finally closed. They're staying at an abandoned Howard Johnson.
Well, I think the restaurants are closed, but they're still a hotel chain.
Oh, okay.
Remember, they were hotels and restaurants.
Right.
Or did you think they were staying in a pancake house?
Was the one in Times Square a restaurant, or was that a hotel?
Restaurant,
okay.
yeah. Here is John. You're on Run Fez.
Ronnie Fez, what's going on?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I'm a farmer, and that whole thing about the farmers got to plow more. Now, we're up at, if it's 4:30 in the morning and it's light, we're up. We got lights on our tractors. We're out there in the dark, the rain. It don't matter. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Well, plus, really, you kind of follow the seasons when you're a farmer, not what the calendar tells you to do, right?
Yeah, even that Farmer's Almanac. I mean, there's, they get close to it, but we don't even use that. I mean, we go by, the way the patterns of the jet streams are going. If it's going to be a warm front, you don't want to plant and burn. If it's going to be really wet, you don't want to get your equipment stuck. So it's all, that whole thing about...
What kind of farmer are you, John?
I'm a dairy farmer.
Dairy farmer.
Yeah.
This is the first time Farm Aid is being done back east. And I think it's 20 years we're into this now. Willie Nelson and Mellencamp, they're bringing it to New Jersey. Farm Aid is in Jersey this year.
Yeah, it's what it is. The economy now is really choking us too.
Yeah.
I mean, gas prices to run your equipment is absolutely outrageous. I mean, they're choking us out. And like the farms, we're here and we feed the country, and we got to gain some money and gain some respect.
And aren't you guys dealing with like corporate farmers now, where it used to just be like regular guys, but now corporations are doing stuff?
Yeah, we sell a lot of our product subsidized out to the old men in suits, as we call them, and they give us they set their price, and they're like, we're going to give you this much for your bushel, and we're like, Jesus Christ, we're just trying to survive. We're hanging in there, just trying to sell it to the suits and everything. But they got their big farms, they got their huge equipment, which it's a big operation. It's really huge. I mean, Farm Aid is really going back. Willie really helps us out with their concerts and everything. So you got to stick by. It's almost like the little businessman is going away. Same with like the little farmer. We're all just kind of fading away.
Absolutely. And then I saw Willie saying that a lot of the subsidies and all are going to the corporations when they were set up to go to the regular guy, to the regular farmer. Now they're going to these corporations. All right, thanks a lot, John.
You got it.
I'd say 866 Ron Zero Fez. It's Willie and Mellencamp, and is it Neil Young is the third one?
It's Willie Nelson, Mellencamp, Neil Young, and Dave Matthews. That's
I didn't know Dave Matthews was involved.
He's done it for 4 years already.
Yeah, he's done it for a couple of years now, and it's at the Tweeter Center down in Camden.
Camden, New Jersey. It's very hard to believe.
Isn't that closer to Philly?
Farm Aid, yeah, it's done that way.
It's right by the Ben Franklin Bridge. Once you get off, it's right there.
But, you got to figure this, though. How many farms are in Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York? There's a lot of farms on the East Coast. I would always think it's one of the real romantic jobs to be a farmer. Like, in the back of my mind, I don't know what I have that go and start a farm thing, but it's more of a fantasy. You know what I mean? It's
right.
But it just seems like it would be a lifestyle that makes sense because you would be tied in with the earth, and you would actually be doing something. You know, not sitting around telling fucking jokes with your friends, but giving something back to the planet. Food, nourishment for people.
And you stay in remarkable shape, too, because you're lifting stuff, you're planting stuff, you're digging.
So now it's all about you, Earl.
No, I'm not.
You know what? If I get a farm, my fantasy farm, I want to make you sharecropper. I'm going to have a little fucking tar roof shack back out there. I want you to set up a scarecrow with a Brer Rabbit, the whole damn thing.
You give me a fair wage?
What I consider fair. I mean, what I promise you in the spring and what happens in the autumn is going to be two different things. In the spring, we're going to shake hands and you're going to feel happy. In the autumn, you're going to worry if you can feed your babies. You ever had that in you, though, Fez, being a farmer?
Farmer I never thought of.
I don't have the work ethic. Don't get me wrong. And I don't think I want to raise, there's something about corn or beans. I think it would just be really great to look at that and see what you're doing.
Yeah, it'd be nice to live the lifestyle without having to do the work.
Well, I don't want to be a gentleman farmer. I don't like the idea of that, just some guy, smoking pot in the middle of a field. I would love to grow weed if they ever would legalize it. I think that would be very hemp, as I like to call it. I think that would be very romantic. But there's so many jobs that I would love to do, but I just don't have the work ethic. I don't have the background. I don't have that self-sacrifice.
Now, with me, it's like an author. I would love to be the author that goes up to a cabin and writes the novel, takes a few months off to go write his novel up in the cabin, and everyone's waiting for my next book to come out.
You would take a few months off what? Writing? You're already writing. You're always writing. But, yeah, that is a nice image of you. You got a bottle of scotch. And then that just kind of, it's always brilliant in your mind. And then really you end up just signing books. That would be... I would rather sign books than write them. If I could sign other people's books...
It's like Jay Peterman.
Yeah, I would love it. That'd be the fucking best job ever.
And just have that thick manuscript when it's all done being printed out, that you take to your publisher. Here it is.
The book's done. And then the publisher says, thank God, Fez. Another one.
And then we open that bottle of champagne that we always keep once the book is done.
Earl, you got a dream job, a fantasy job like that?
It's kind of weird. I always wanted to do... or be a part of a play-by-play team and cover a baseball team all year.
Oddly enough, if you do it with radio, it's not all that difficult. I mean, it can be accomplished. If you would have worked for it, you would have been able to pull it off by now.
No, but those guys, when they get those gigs, they stay in them forever. It's like being in them.
Yeah, who would want to give it up? Who would want to leave?
I mean, you're part of the team all year. You get complete access to the players.
And then you're in spring training in the winter. Your winter is spring training. The only thing is you got to be a homer.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but that would be easy for me. But
oh, yeah, it would be. I forgot. I forgot the way you treat me, like I'm the Yankees.
Ron wins.
No, but imagine, you see every major league park. You travel like a king.
It's nice.
You're staying at all the best hotels.
Now, is it just baseball? Would you want to do basketball or football or just baseball?
Yeah, definitely just baseball. I mean, basketball would be
radio
close.
Sport.
Yeah.
That's the sport where the radio guy is well known.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically you're with it with the players. If it's a cold game, you're sitting in that cold booth with the players too.
Those Yankees announcers are the worst. They're the worst homers though in all professional sports.
That's just because they're your team. Every team has those homers on the radio. They're just like, especially when you got a really losing team, you're 60 games back and you got to just roll with it.
I listen to XM coverage of Major League Baseball. I listen to the White Sox-Red Sox game, and the White Sox radio guys are the worst. It'll be like a White Sox game. Bases loaded. Here's the pitch. And he struck out. We'll be right back right after this.
Matt, you're on Running Fast.
Yeah, I want to know if we could hear an Earl home run call, because I don't think he could get excited enough.
All right, Earl, why don't you call that? And I want it to be a walk-off. I really want it to be a big home run, game-winning home run.
Okay, we'll use A-Rod. Mm-hmm. It's like 2 outs, 2 on. Yanks lead. I mean, Yankees can't be leading. Yanks are down.
Are you fucking play-by-play or a cheerleader? Do a play-by-play voice.
Okay, A-Rod steps to the plate. It is 2 on, 2 outs. Yanks down 4-3. Here's the windup and the pitch. Fly ball deep left. It is high, far back. At the track, at the wall. Game over. Yankees win. Yankees win. A-Rod does it again.
That was so unbelievably bad.
Yeah.
You actually even had the voice of an 8-year-old.
That was awful.
Just the voice of an 8-year-old.
He's just ripping off John Sterling. He's actually doing the Yankees broadcast.
The black John Sterling.
The "it is high, it is far" thing has been John Sterling for 15 years.
Why don't you have your own, Earl?
No, it's just the first thing that popped into my head because
Yeah, somebody else's, like any line you have.
I'll be the first to admit Sterling is the absolute worst, but I mean,
but you're doing him.
Yeah, I mean,
you're stealing from the worst.
Let me go to East Side. East Side, what is your dream job? Like, if you could actually get it, that you would like to tell people you do.
I believe I could actually get it would be the host of Family Feud. Because that's been my favorite game show for a long time, and I know everything about it, and I could do a good survey. You know, I have passion for that.
Who's your all-time? All right, rank the all-time guy.
Well, we all know Richard Dawson's number one.
That's it. He's number one. There's no.
Ray Combs was better than people thought, and he was a very close second. He was a good guy. Third would be this new Tool Time guy, and then Louis Anderson because he was horrific.
Richard Karn, his name is.
You know, I saw Louis Anderson the other day. He's at he's playing in the World Series of Poker, and he says, "I'm not a card shark. I'm a card manatee." I'm like, please, stop putting yourself down for 25 years. Either lose some weight or adapt to it and be comfortable. Stop calling yourself names.
Go on Fit Club.
Paperboy, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, buddies. My dream job, and I've always wanted to do this, to be a cowboy, heading up like a cattle drive, stopping off at town to town, giving a whore a poke for a few bucks.
Yeah, but does that even exist anymore? I mean, you know,
no, probably not, but
I think they're moving these cows with trucks. I know there's a couple cowboys out there, but it's not big as it used to be.
Yeah.
And there's no whorehouses for Western guys to come through.
He's wanting the job and a time machine to go with it.
Yeah, you can't have a time machine.
He wants to walk into a saloon.
No, for me, one of the things being an architect, particularly large bridges, is that I could be walking around with that big tube under my arm, and I want to wear a white shirt and tie, but a hard hat. So I fucking fit in either one. You know, and I got in my mind, and I don't think anyone ever goes, I'd like to be an architect and build really small buildings. You want to build the biggest building in the world, Fez. You want the giant dams.
Yeah, you want the landmark that people are always going to say, that's a Bennington building.
I'd just say, who's John Galt, is what I want them to say when I'm walking around. Here's Jay. Jay, you're on Fez.
Hey, I want to defend John Sterling. I think John Sterling's all right. Start listening to some of these other, when the Yankees are away, you listen to the other games on the XM, these guys are like, bad.
How do we pick up the XM feeds? Is that each town that's selling them back, or how's it done?
It's where the home team is. You get the home team feed, and then in the playoffs they'll give you both feeds for home and away.
It's really exciting to be able to. I mean, years ago you would have had no idea what the other guys' play-by-play is. So to be able to sit there and listen to the local Dodgers game, because when I left Philadelphia, and I'd have to watch Philly games, and normally they're playing either the Braves or the Cubs, I'd be fucking furious watching these games. I cannot believe the shit I am hearing. I'm trying to be happy, and you're acting like this is a bad game.
It's the worst when you have to hear the other team's announcers calling it.
It's like Earth 2. It's the sickness.
Well, what the best thing is, I just leave the XM on for the scores. You know, like I could flip through and just check all the scores, and then I'll just leave like Howie Rose on just to listen to the Mets games.
Here is Rocket. Rocket, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, guys, I just wanted to say my favorite job would be astronaut. Everybody loves driving vehicles and the feeling, you know, and then you put on that big, giant spaceship, you know, and...
All right, yeah, my astronaut fantasies normally have me back on Earth and walking out there and telling people I'm an astronaut. I like the whole astronaut/senator. You know, use that astronaut like a war hero thing in the background.
A nice John Glenn feel to it.
Yeah.
The astronaut thing is fine. I don't want to go into space, but I wouldn't mind one of those ticker tape parades when I've returned from a mission.
I would love a ticker tape parade for myself. And I would be in a convertible. I'm not going to be on a fucking truck waving. I don't like that look. Flatbed, I'd just say forget it. There won't be it. I got to be in the back of a convertible.
Or any sort of dinner honoring me as an astronaut. I would enjoy that.
I don't know about the honoring dinners. It seems like they take a while. The food's not good. Parade, yes. Senate seat, sure. You know what? All you got to do is go to Washington and walk through the building. You're thinking, hey, you know what? I could have probably, if I would have been a little better in school, could have been a congressman or senator, something. Could have been something to work here. Because that would be a nice feeling for yourself.
That would be nice to be able to say, you know, and people will call you senator. You know, you're going to get called by your title. Congressman.
Just to be around all that marble would be a good feeling.
I always wanted to be mayor of my town when I was a little kid.
Why don't you run for it, Pitsy?
I will. I have 2 more years.
No, do you have something in your past to keep you from running?
Nothing really bad. It's not on a permanent record.
I couldn't run for anything. Matter of fact, I'm completely lucky I have a driver's license. I cannot believe I pulled that gimmick off. So my thing of doing anything publicly, it's gone. Everything has to be done private sector from this point on. Mark, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Yeah, my favorite, my dream job is to replace that fucking piano on your back, Fez. You want to hear it? 10-second audition.
Go real quick.
Say, Ronnie, fuck me in the ass. I'm afraid of everything. Bye.
You know, I hate to say it, but that guy was amazingly good.
He was not. There was nothing good to that.
Which one of you is saying that?
I'm saying that. Fez is.
Mark?
No, Fez.
Okay, I can't tell. I cannot tell. Gary, you're on Run and Fez.
Hey, what's up, boys? I just got my dream job. I used to tow cars, and while I was doing a windshield in a car one day, I got a job moving cars for movies.
So you move cars for movies?
Yeah, you drop off the car, and you hang around on set, you stuff your face, and then you take your car home.
Believe it or not, you know who does the same thing? The Radio Shark. He has cars that he rents to movies.
It's the biggest gig. It's absolutely hilarious.
I would love to do that, too.
Sleep.
Yeah.
You know, where else will your boss say, hey, go get some food and go take a nap for a few hours?
But here's the thing, too. Could you imagine watching a movie just to see what your car looks like?
I do it now.
You know what? That's fucking not bad. Really. I love that movie because the car looked fantastic. Here's Gil. Gil, you're on Run and Fez.
Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah.
What I always wanted since the Food Network came on, I want to be the celebrity chef, want my own joint, basically be Flay, have the celebrity wife.
I know, Bobby Flay seems to be the dream guy. Now, this is weird. When I grill, I'll find myself talking. No one's in the background. And I'll go like this, then we just add a little garlic. And see that the whole time I'm cooking, I act like I have my own little cooking show. You got to be a fucking mongoloid retard to do such things. And yet, try not to. 866-RON-0-FEZ. 866-RON-0-FEZ. Hey, Jim, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dream job is to be a comic book writer or artist.
That's a great one. I would love to do that, even though I wouldn't want to do all the work again.
Well, no, here's the thing. You have to, in your fantasy, you have the talents to take care of it.
Oh, okay.
You know, like,
right.
It's like, if you're in your fantasy, it works out fine. You don't have a fantasy of where you're an astronaut and then you're panicking on the launch pad and you have to get out of the fucking shuttle. You're able to do these things. Jason, you're on the Ron and Fez show. How are you?
Hey, Ronnie, my dream job is to be a porn star or a rock star, because either way you get to bang hot chicks.
Yeah, but you know what? There's such a shelf life with the rock star thing. And, like, I just feel like that coming back down thing looks just awful. I hate to bring up your boys, Poison, but it's got to have shaken them that they're not where they used to be a little bit, you know?
Yeah, and the point of when do you take off the spandex if nobody's telling you to?
When do you stop?
Yeah, exactly. When do you quit teasing your hair a mile high?
So, you're going to Poison with Mikey D. Now there's another person that wants to jump in.
Don Wiki Wicklin wants to go to Poison from XM. He loves Poison, big hairband fan, and I guess he didn't know they were going to be at Jones Beach, and he wants in.
Earl, can you get him some tickets?
Yeah, that could definitely be arranged. It's our boss. What are you going to do?
He's the
big guy.
He's Fat Cash Daddy-O.
Yes.
By the way, we never thanked Wiki for putting together that comedy special for us the other night, Fez.
Yeah, that aired Monday night on XM Comedy 150.
Fez and I just rambled off 10 lines like MTV VJs and then went home. And then he did the rest of the work, so thank you. Why don't you hook this up, call him back, Fez, say you'll go with him, Earl get you the tickets. Earl, front and back?
Yeah, definitely.
He could go back and meet the band?
We're still working that detail out, but they definitely have tickets. But usually when they set stuff up like that, Poison's great with their fans. They do a ton of meet and greet, so I don't think that'll be a problem.
Tell him to say, here's the downside. Mikey D is so hot into his daughter being an XM DJ. He's a little angry because he hasn't heard back from some of the programmers. So why, Wiki is listening to Unskinny Bop, he's going to have to hear about how talented Lene is.
Wiki can just have my ticket. Because I don't want to go to this thing.
I don't want him alone with the D's. I want you there to run what I consider to be light metal interference. You were big into the Poison Boys, though, right?
Yeah, I enjoyed Poison, but I don't want to go to this show.
Why not?
Huh? I have no interest in going out to this show next week.
You need to get out some more. Remember what happened when you went to D.C.? You had a great time.
I had an awful time. I ended up getting lost.
Right. By the way, I talked to Willie Mays, Anthony, on the way out. He loved your story of you getting lost.
What's the love about that story?
The part where you were pulling off the road and crying, he said it was the funniest shit he ever heard.
Total panic attack, total meltdown, breakdown.
And then I say to him like an idiot, hey, that was a completely true story. And he goes, yeah, like you got to tell me that.
Yeah, it was a true story.
And then he and Opie each gave me 1,000.
Really?
Yeah. They tip everybody walking in and out now. Tip everybody 1,000.
I got to start coming in earlier.
You should. Actually, they were leaving late. I got here just in time for the show today. I don't know what happened, why they were still here. What were they doing? Piling up accountants?
Yeah, they had to do a couple of interviews.
With who?
I believe Billboard and
Letterman.
And
Letterman came here.
Letterman came here to do a pre-interview.
Yeah, and the Letterman people. Yes, they're doing Letterman on August 31st.
Let's take a break here. We'll be right back. Right, Fest.